Beyond black and white, there's another powerful race. See, society dictates that racial inequality is based primarily on the color of our skin and our physical attributes, and that the white race is superior to the black race. But the color of blood is a powerful equalizer, and it runs in all our veins. It's a pity that it's hidden skin deep. But there's another equalizer, a common denominator, one which is hidden in plain sight, one which we ourselves deny and hide. It is the race which is not mentioned or acknowledged. This third race is a spectrum of colors, when united, more powerful than black and white combined. Yet we choose to live in denial of this powerful truth. This race is called a mixed race and is made up of two or more races. And the reality is that the majority of people labeled white or black are actually mixed or multiracial. What if the majority of us are neither black nor white? What if we're a kaleidoscope of beautiful colors? Then there would be no need for racial inequity or the existence of systemic racism. I'm about to tell you a story which may seem like a story that's not true, but I can assure you that it is. Even though it's ridiculous, it may seem ridiculous, that this story is a true story. It's about a young girl who was neither black nor white. And all she wanted to be was pretty and white like the popular girls in her class. The rich girls were white and pretty. The black girls didn't have shoes. What she really needed was confidence and acceptance, but she didn't know that at the time. Even as a child, she had dreams bigger than herself. She wanted to be somebody who was somebody, not a homemaker like her mama, and certainly not a religious fanatic like her father. She wanted to be rich. She wanted to have money to buy nice things. She wanted to help the blind neighbor next door who was poor. But most of all, she wanted attention. She wanted to be seen. But there was one problem. She had done her research, reading the stories in the Bible and looking at the pictures in the few magazines that she found in the church. She checked again in the bamboo mirror in the living room, and the face looking back at her in the mirror looked nothing like the people in the magazines. They were all white. Even the picture of gentle Jesus in her Bible was white. And this was a problem. But she was determined to move from the life she had to a much better one. And so a few days later, she left home and family in search of a better life and her dreams. She was given passage on a contraband boat to cross the Atlantic Ocean to the neighboring country of Venezuela. And so began her quest for freedom. For the next few years, she worked and struggled. She lived in many countries. And at 18, she found herself in Canada, empty and feeling defeated. She was no closer to her goals than when she began. Even the education she had planned on giving herself once she left home was still just that. It was still a plan. She had always had the idea in the back of her mind that if only she was white and pretty, things would happen for her. And now the idea seemed more appealing than ever. She was feeling down and out. And it was not difficult to find a home-based Korean surgeon in Quebec. There were plenty. And for a fee she could afford, he promised to make her look white and pretty. And he did just that. After the surgery, she looked at her new face. Her eyes were wider and her lips were thinner, and she had a straight nose. She was thrilled with the outcome. She felt pretty, sexy, and white. She forgot that she had laid there without anesthesia. The pain she felt, her face when she was finished had looked as though someone had beaten her with a baseball bat. But all of that was forgotten. She had accomplished her goal in finding her identity. Now things will start to happen for me, she said to herself. She was sure of this. And of course, she was wrong. Then she moved to New York, where she met a geneticist who told her that she was fortunate to have 4 races. She explained that being of mixed race meant that she had the dominant genes of each race. And this was good news. It was the first time someone had acknowledged, let alone said something good about her mixed race. This was great news indeed. In the meantime, she felt emptier than ever and even more confused about her identity. She made a promise that she would be as diligent in transforming herself from within as she had been on the outside. And she did. Today, when she looks in the mirror and stares inside her beautiful brown eyes, which is an authentic portion of her face, she feels a wave of love well up deep within and connects with the part of her that she lost. She says, I want the light that is shining within me to illuminate the path for other women to see and believe in themselves. See, the journey of finding oneself does not end when the self is found. It begins anew in showing others. So she dives face forward and just keeps moving, showing by example. I am happy to say that this girl is me. And after embracing all of my races, I am living an extraordinary life. And so can you. See, I say have an open mind and actively look for commonalities instead of placing the focus on our differences. Be ready to change your perspective and accept enlightened information to adapt to a new belief. With an open mind, free of prejudices, you will see the limitations which we impose upon ourselves and the damage we are causing ourselves. From this perspective, there is no need for racial injustice. Be aware of the single race label. Investigate to see how many races you have that you are not even aware of. Become a part of the bigger picture by becoming aware and embracing all of who you are, all of your races. If you have more than one race, acknowledge yourself as a multiracial person, not a black or a white person. This will open up a whole new world of possibilities and contribute to a racist-free world and society. See, when I came to the United States, and I was given, I got in the mail, the census. I don't know if you received the census in the mail, but when I received the census back when I came to the United States, I couldn't find myself. There was American, Alaskan, Latin, Hispanic, a few others maybe, but there was nothing with my ethnicity. So the next time I got the census, there was a square that said other, but other still doesn't define who I am. Maybe you have the same problem. Maybe there's someone out there who maybe you can't find your race or ethnicity. Make sure if you put other that you're really not counted. What I started to do is I started to put a little square and just put mixed race or multiracial, because I am mixed or multiracial. And I'm hoping that in the future, one day, I will see the census and it will have multiracial or mixed. Also, another pet peeve of mine is, what are we teaching our children, our future leaders? Society is not teaching our children about, embrace all of your races. They are teaching about black or white. They are promoting racism and systemic racism. Again, I would like to see in the future a future free of black against white, white against black, especially when the majority are not even white or black. I would like to see more of equality. We're all equal. Maybe we're not. We're all valuable. I will say that we're all valuable. We all have value, and we may not be equal in color or outward appearances and other appearances, but if you look deeper, we're all God's children. And so, really, I would like to see the end of racism.